everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some more recommendations. I have really been trying to find some books that work with a workplace kind of romance because I just really like that trope. So this doesn't necessarily have to be like office romances, but it's more like if they have any kind of working relationship together, I felt like these would work. So we have like an actual office romance. We have some like workplace romances. We have some like boss employee situations. Overall, these are all couples that happen because of a working environment, and I am excited to share them with you. So the first one I want to talk about is one that I consider one of my favorites, and that is The Stopover by T.L. Swan. I absolutely adore T.L. Swan. This is actually a journalist situation. Not necessarily journalism, but there is a media type company, so she has a background in journalism, and she does write for a media outlet. I wouldn't necessarily call her a journalist per se, but she does work for a media outlet, which I really like. And she falls for the boss. So Jamie is the CEO of this media company, and there is a situation happening where there is a person leaking information from this one company and giving it to a rival company, and Emily goes to help Miles with actually stopping the person and like discovering what's going on. The beginning of it starts with them. She is actually flying in for an interview with this company, but there was a delay and a layover, and they end up having a night together. There's an immediate attraction whenever she does finally work for the company, and they're just really cute and really sweet. I really like them. I love this series in general, and I am going to recommend it every chance that I get. This is a very thick book, but I did listen to this through Kindle Unlimited. It was one of the options that you could listen to, and I absolutely adore this series. I just love T.L. Swan, and I love this series so much. I love all of the Miles brothers. They are fantastic, but I have to recommend this one specifically because I just love Jameson and Emily so much. So next up we have Hate Notes by V. Keelan and Penelope Ward. I absolutely adore this book as well. This is another office romance with specifically an office situation. She is his personal assistant. Now I don't remember the names on this one, but this starts out with our heroine who is selling her wedding dress because her and her fiance have just broken up, and she finds another dress in the like thrift shop that she's in, and she takes it. It is actually it has like this little blue like post-it note in the dress that's pinned into it, and it's a very sweet note. And from this note, she ends up finding a company that like shows off like real estate, and she ends up getting an appointment to go there and talk with the people there to get in like and buy something or rent a place there. I can't remember exactly. And because of those interactions, she ends up with a position as an assistant for this guy she has a very hate to love relationship with, a very bad first impression, and she ends up being his personal assistant, and he writes her little blue hate notes is what she calls them, and I love them. They're super sweet. He is like so bitter, and he has so much going on, and he doesn't know how to cope with some of the things he is dealing with, and their relationship's super sweet, and watching them just fall in love, beautiful. 20 out of 10 recommended. I love this book so much. I just did a makeup look inspired by this book. I love it. I love it so much. And again, it's another situation of I'm going to recommend it as much as I possibly can. So the next one I have is The Wife He Needs by Brenda Jackson. This is a Harlequin Desire title, and I absolutely adored listening to this. It was so good. It was such a good listen. It was a good read. But I don't remember the hero's or the heroine's name because I'm great like that. I want to say his name was Walker, and I want to say her name was, I don't remember. Anyway, this follows our heroine or hero who work together. They're in a working relationship. She is his pilot, and he is a not the owner of a company and not the CEO, but he's like at the top of like this company, like this family company, and he is trying to finally settle down and find a wife. And because of that, he tells like his like siblings like he's ready to settle down and get a wife, and he goes on this like dating service to find a perfect match for him, and he's supposed to spend 2 weeks overseas like at a like tropical location in order to get to know her and potentially make her his wife. So his pilot takes him over there, and he finds out once he gets over there that the woman that's supposed to show up is not there because of a situation and an issue with the like booking and scheduling. So like there's a miscommunication, and he has already decided essentially once he gets over there that he is strictly interested in his pilot, and he has been the entire time, and that's why he has just not wanted to date anyone seriously. So they have a relationship, very adorable, very cute. I really liked it. It was super adorable. I can't tell you much more because you will literally be spoiled if I do, but it was super good and I really recommend it. So next up we have hashtag Blessed by Malachi, which I could not do a working relationship type of recommendation without this one. I really liked this. There was not as many ratings as I thought there would be for it, but it was really cute. This one follows Malachi, who has an ex-girlfriend who basically tweets to the entire world that she was hashtag Blessed by Malachi, and she posts a picture of his junk. So she takes a picture of his junk and he doesn't know about it, and she puts it out on the internet, and she's like, hey, I'm trying to be his wife, and I was hashtag Blessed by Malachi. So he has to end up hiring a like public assistant, like public image consultant, in order to correct his image and stop the spread of like this Blessed by Malachi situation, because it blows up on Twitter. And this is a relationship between him and his image consultant assistant, and he immediately has an attraction to her. He immediately knows that's gonna be the woman, and he is completely uninterested in like the dates he has to go on in order to like actually try to find someone and like follow the plan that she has created for him. Very cute. I really liked these characters, and I really liked how good of a listen this was as well, because I also listened to this on audiobook. Are we shocked? Everything I read's on audio at this point. So then we have Hotshot Doc. This is by R.S. Gray. I really like R.S. Gray. This is a enemies to lovers or hate to love kind of situation, dislike to love. It is a medical romance, so it is a surgeon and a surgical assistant. This guy is like a horrible doctor to work with. He is extremely picky, and he is very hard to like deal with, and our heroine has just recently basically not gotten laid off, but her surgeon that she normally works with is retiring, and she needs a new surgeon to kind of take her under his wing. And they have a very hard working relationship. They don't want to work together because he is so hard to deal with, and no one wants to work with him. He is like basically every assistant he's ever had has like run off on him. So Bailey, and I can't remember the hero's name, but Bailey is the heroine's name. She is like working to take care of herself and her sister, like her and her sister, like her parents have passed away. So it is very cute watching them and her trying to like make it work with the doctor, and the attraction between her and the doctor are just, it's just so cute and so adorable, because they are so attracted to one another, and like the sister is pushing for them to get together. It was really adorable, and I think this is a good one if you are really wanting a medical romance. Obviously I read this one because Dean Winchester loves Dr. Sexy, and that's the video that I read this for, but I really liked it. Next up, I also want to talk about Control Freak by Brianna Hale. So this was Stain and Lacey. This is a BDSM Daddy King story. There's trigger warnings for eating disorders in here. They are working together. He's also very hard to work with. He is a control freak, and he has run off all of his personal assistants, and she comes along and she actually does what he needs and can like get along with him, and they end up having a BDSM relationship and then eventually a romantic relationship. They're very sweet. They have a very healthy DDLG relationship, and there is a lot of discussion on her eating disorder. So if you have any triggers for anorexia or binging or restriction or excessive exercise, if you have any triggers for like weigh-ins, anything like that, or inpatient care, that is something mentioned and talked about pretty heavily in the story. So I do recommend this with caution if you need to kind of proceed lightly with it. But I really like this one as well. Obviously I love Brianna Hale, and I'm sure you all are shocked that it took this long to get a recommendation of Brianna Hale in this, but I wanted to include it. I do really enjoy the story, and if you can handle the graphic content in here, which is the eating disorder, if you can handle that triggering content, then I do recommend you check this out, because the BDSM relationship between these two and the working relationship and the balance is just it's really, really good. So the last one here is kind of a weird working relationship, but this is Dirty Kisses by Wright. So this follows our heroine and our hero, whose names, I just cannot remember their names at all, but essentially he is like a mob boss type of guy, and she is a washer, so she washes the dirty money. She is a money launderer, and she is required to work with him in order to save her brother. This is a very dark story. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of morally gray situations, a lot of murder, a lot of just bad things happening all the time in the story. But yeah, there is a tender killer in here. There's a lot going on. I want to recommend this one specifically because they are working together, and like they don't have a choice but to work together. It's either she works with him or she dies, and her brother dies as well. And this one is really interesting because they have a very instant attraction to one another, but they don't immediately act on it, and the respect levels between both of them is absolutely refreshing to see. Like our heroine and our hero both respect each other immensely. Like as you go through the story, it's like they add layers onto the respect they have for one another, and their connection and their attraction to one another is just as good. Like these steamy scenes in this are written really, really well, and they are honestly off the charts. I adored the way that Wright wrote these characters, and I adored the way that she wrote the chemistry between them, because it felt very, very believable in a short amount of time. So like the way that their attraction happened felt very believable, and the way that they decided to actually act on that also felt very believable. So it was very refreshing to see. I did have some issues with the story, but I still recommend it. I still think you should check it out if you want to. And again, I think it falls into a workplace kind of romance, so I also want to recommend it for that. So those are all of the workplace romances that I have that I think that you all should check out and that you might really like. If you are still watching in the video, please leave a rainbow emoji down in the comments, or a 4-leaf clover. Don't know why those are the two popping in my head, but that's what you should leave down below if you are still here. If you want links to any of these books, they are linked in the description, so you can purchase them if you want them, as well as all of my socials, and I will chat with you all in my next video. Bye everyone.